One of these times, I'm going to throw that too high. And I'm going to hit the ceiling fan that's right there. Oops. One of these times it's going to be boom, and you're going to see me jump like crazy. Well, good evening, good people, and Eagle and Commander fans. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's had a great day. Man, woke up this morning and Joe Boo's man cave and going to bed here at the Red Brick House. You know, there was an old song, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Now, technically, I think he was sleeping around a lot of things, but sometimes I feel like I'm a rolling stone running from place to place to place. My life stays very, very busy, and I'm not going to lie to you. It honestly stays very busy. But I like that because when I don't have something to do, I feel like I should be doing something. And so I'm going to say thank you, Jerry Jones, because you constantly, and I mean constantly, have me busy. Have me busy. There's constantly always, this is the off season, y'all. Guys, we've been out of playing football for what? 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks? And I'm working more now than regular. In my life, I have to set goals. And one reason why I do this is I like to reflect on the day to say, did I do everything I could to be a solid citizen, to be a good husband, to be a great father, or at least a good father, to try and advance myself and try and do as much work as possible? Because I've always got this philosophy of, if I do one more thing today, then I have one thing less to do tomorrow. Because I want to try and get things done sooner than later. I try and maximize everything I do. If I'm doing a job and I got to go out to the truck and get, my circular saw. If I got some trash or some extra material, I'm going to take it out to the truck with me on this trip to go get something else. Because I got to do those steps. If I can maximize what I'm doing by taking something else that I don't have to worry about taking later, then that makes my life easier. It just does. And that's my mentality. I want to be ahead of schedule and put out as much as I possibly can. And it's crazy because I watch YouTubers help and they talk about, get yourself on a set schedule. So that way, you post the same day a week at the same time. And it's like, day a week? Are you kidding? Day of week? With the Cowboys, I can literally post so much content because there's always something going. And if I'm riding the wave of the news, it's crazy. We have literally gone from Michael Irvin pounding the table saying that Deion Sanders is the guy. We got Nick Saban following up. Nick Saban, who, there's no reason for Nick Saban to try and go pound the table for Deion Sanders, but other than I think that this is the right thing. To Brian Schottenheimer late yesterday evening finding out that he did a second interview that was 5.5 hours. To this morning that they pretty much were saying it's a done deal and could happen today or tomorrow. To then there was a mystery candidate in Rich Batista who the Joneses had talked to. So you're going through dealing with that. And it seemed like an hour after that, we heard that they talked to Pete Carroll. And then, of course, I hadn't even gotten to Deion. Oh, no, I did go to Deion. Excuse me, to Jason Witten. That Jason Witten would probably be part of the mix. And then there's DeMarcus Ware, who says he's 94% positive that if Jason Witten gets a job that he's coming back so that way he can instill his own family values to Stephen Jones, who seems to be the one who is settling for Brian Schottenheimer because of the comfort level. And of course, I say this, but position flex, because he's the coordinator and the head coach. So that means that's one less person they have to pay, because we know Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Catboy, is cheap, to Jerry Jones wanting Dion, but having the fight over Dion part 2, and this time Stephen Jones is putting his will and his foot forward because he didn't want Dion the first time. And I have not checked in the last hour because I wasn't here yesterday with my wife, and for some odd, crazy reason, I like being around her. I love being around her. In fact, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go take a shower so I can snuggle up next to her. And in, what's today, 23rd? 5 days. 5 days from now, it'll be our anniversary. Our anniversary. Wow. 23 years of being a couple and 22 years of being married. Unbelievable. Oh, and we are now over 70 million views on this channel. Unbelievable. Let me see. And our wide receiver coach, Dan, I didn't even get a video about that. Our wide receiver coach is interviewing for the same position for Mike McDaniels with the Miami Dolphins. Oh, shit. Trayvon Diggs has now had his surgery on the knee to install the bone pate, I'm going to call it, that will hopefully turn into the cartilage for his knee. It's a bone graft. Bone graft where they went and did the first surgery where they took a piece of bone and then they kind of grind it up to make a paste and all that, and they let it culture and grow, and then they put it onto the knee in where the cartilage should go in hopes that it's going to grow some cartilage. If you don't know what cartilage is, it's kind of like, it would be like a hard plastic or hard rubber that cushions the knee bones so they can slide back and forth. So there's that. Did I forget anything? Did I leave any? Oh, Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh has turned down the second interview in Jacksonville that he was supposed to do in person, and it looks like he's going to go back to San Francisco to be the defensive coordinator, and Kellen Moore is getting his second interview with the New Orleans Saints, and Mike McCarthy has yet to do his first one in person. And this is the offseason. And I haven't even talked about how everybody's pissed off at the Joneses and the way they're going about this, that they're not serious about football. They're just trying to, do something. Now, here's my thoughts. Now that I've gotten you caught up with all the players and where we stand. About 2 o'clock when I was driving down here, Calvin Watkins had basically tweeted out and said that it looks like all signs are pointing towards Brian Schottenheimer being the coach. And expect something tomorrow or possibly today. Well, it wasn't today, although it could be. There's still a couple hours before midnight. What I think happened is, and I'm gonna be clear, I try and look at the positive side of things. And I will say that Brian Schottenheimer has more experience than Sean McVay did when he took over the Rams. He just did. That Brian Schottenheimer has worked on a pass-heavy offense and has worked on a run-heavy offense and was very successful with the Seattle Seahawks when he was the offensive coordinator for them with Russell Wilson in 2020. Not so much in Jacksonville, but I don't know that Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville, that anybody has been really that successful with him. I will say that Brian Schottenheimer, as opposed to anybody other than Kellen Moore, knows the personnel and the team better than anybody else and can hit the ground running. And see, here's what I'm going to say to you. The thing about football is this. You can have 10 guys playing perfect play, but one guy can screw it up. One guy can. One guy showboating and not covering his gap, leaves the gap open, boom. Play goes to the house. Everybody's getting pressure on the quarterback and doing their thing and all that, holding their gap assignments and things. Pocket is collapsing, but the defensive back falls down and the guy's wide open. The quarterback does a lob. It's a touchdown. Everybody gets their assignment. The running back goes through the hole because the hole's there, and he's going for 6. And a guy on the backside that has nothing to do with the play holds. Play comes back. And so sometimes you are better off with a guy with lesser talent who knows exactly what the philosophy and his assignment is than a better player who just got here and doesn't know the game plan, who's just winging it. And that's what I can say about Brian Schottenheimer, because he may not be on the level of Pete Carroll. He may not be on the level of Bill Belichick. But he knows the personnel. He knows the quarterback, and the quarterback knows what he's trying to do, basically, that now it's a matter of tweaking it. He knows how to deal with the Joneses. So from a learning standpoint, he's ahead of anybody else out there. And that alone, that familiarity, that comfort with the Joneses, maybe the Joneses say, we're not worried about him. Let's see if we can help him to succeed, and they may actually do something with him. As opposed to Dion, that Stephen Jones is going to have some resentment and feeling some kind of way because he didn't want him the first time and he looks like an idiot. He may not want him to succeed the second time so he can look like, I knew it, I didn't want him here. And that he's petty enough that maybe that is the case. I don't know, man. All I know is whatever you're going to do, if it's screwed up or not, just hurry up and do it. Stop this whole rudderless ship where, who else can we call that doesn't have a job? Who can we call? Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't called Jimmy Johnson. And I'm going to say, would it surprise you if somehow Mike McCarthy gets back in the mix? Wouldn't that be crazy? If the Cowboys go around all these circles and they realize, damn, Mike McCarthy wasn't that bad after all. Cowboys are just about crazy enough to do some shit like that. So anyway, I'm tired, boss. I'm real tired. And the Cowboys have worn me the hell out. And so, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to take me a shower. I'm going to get up under the covers with that beautiful bride of mine of 23 years. And I'm going to go sleep. And if any news breaks between now and 8 o'clock when I get up, I'll let you know when I get up at 8. Remember, good people, Life is so short. Be sure to tell the people you love how much you love them. Because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. Peace out.